Let us read from Teachings of the Buddha and then meditate like a Jedi. This book is the first Dharma book I bought many decades ago. I've read it so many. I've gone through 2 or 3 versions that just fell apart just from constant use. This is the latest version, and I'm going to read to you tonight from it. I would like to read to you from the 144th page. This is a translation of Verses on the Faith Mind by, please forgive my pronunciation, Sang San, the 3rd Chan Patriarch. The Great Way, I've got to put my glasses on for this bad boy. Make myself look all respectable. The Great Way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. When love and hate are both absent, everything becomes clear and undisguised. Make the smallest distinction, however, and heaven and earth are set infinitely apart. If you wish to see the truth, then hold no opinions for or against anything. To set up what you like against what you dislike is the disease of mind. When the deep meaning of things is not understood, the mind's essential peace is disturbed to no avail. So, and as they say on South Park, what? So, evolutionarily, we are wired to discern between the beneficial and the harmful. That's a survival instinct designed to keep us alive. So the author is not asking us just to walk into traffic or to start chewing on razor blades, because they're just as good as an apple. What is being recommended is what I like to describe as remedial equanimity, remedial non-duality. What does that mean? As we sit and meditate, the remedy we apply for both that which we desire as well as we dread is identical. So instead of relying on focus or analysis, we just passively cooperate with our autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system, or spinal cord, has 2 facets that we cooperate with. The middle bit, known as the sympathetic nervous system, every time we inhale, we silently and mentally, let me rephrase it, that middle bit is designed or has evolved to help us notice in a very special way, to help us to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Let's think about perception. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever we notice during our previous inhalation, let's try that again. Whatever beauty or ugliness we noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as if it was melting into the simplicity of just a sight. Now I'm getting ahead of myself. Therefore, every time we feel our lungs swell with breath, we can silently and mentally recite the verb watch. But what do we do with that which we noticed? That brings us to meditation. Every time we exhale, we are already wired to automatically access the attic as well as the basement of that same spinal cord. These two extremes are known as the parasympathetic nervous system. It has evolved to help us to relax to such a degree that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and even as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morning, which although could look tantalizing to the eye, could feel non-graspable to the hand. Therefore, as we feel our chest subtly sink, as gently we exhale, silently and mentally we can recite the verb rest. Now you might say, well man, if I'm relying on my autonomic nervous system, what do I do with the front of my brain? Am I just stupid? Do I honestly not know the difference between dog do and chocolate? No worries. Check this out. The Buddha taught an eightfold path. There were 8 tools in the Buddha's toolcase. The more we play with mindfulness and meditation, the more the remaining 6 folds automatically take care of themselves. The more we notice and relax in harmony with our breathing, the more we cannot help but notice change. The more we watch and rest in harmony with our inhalations and exhalations, the more we cannot help but kindly intend, kindly communicate, kindly conduct ourselves, kindly practice calmness. The more we watch and rest in harmony with our breathing, the more we cannot help but practice the right effort that is effortless. The more we cannot help, the more our choices and utterances and deeds cannot help but flow from not from contrived calculations or wild scatteredness, but instead from love's deeply centered spontaneity. That is the key to using the entirety of our central nervous system optimally. That's the key to being the creative genius. Therefore, it is safe to watch and rest as we tool through what remains of our life. This will not stop us from noticing the external or the internal, the physical or the mental, the pleasurable or the painful, the interesting or the boring, the glorious or the grotesque. But it will help us to surf it with skill and joy. For the meaning of life is love and peace. Having completed our opening lesson, we can now shift gears. It is Ahsoka Tano Thursday evening. At least it is here in Southern California. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after about 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Sende Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School for more than 30 years. harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to meditate like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Don't be shy. The moment you have a specific question about the philosophies or techniques of Taoism, Buddhism, Tantra, Dzogchen, Zen, or Mahamudra, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window, where I tend to check for questions about once every 5 minutes or so. Let us touch the tip of our left thumb to the lowest set of creases on its little finger, thus helping us keep track of our first set of 16 inhalations. Let us rest this left hand, palms up, in our lap. Each time we silently and mentally recite the verb watch as our chest swells with breath, we can advance our right thumb up the creases and tips of each of its fingers. Let us begin together with a little breath. Having run out of a place to touch the tip of my thumb on my right hand, I now turn to my left hand and advance my left thumb up to its second set of creases. And now you get the basic idea of how we can count 16 sets of 16 inhalations each. It takes about a little more than a minute to count 16 inhalations. It takes a little bit more than 20 minutes to count 16 sets of 16 inhalations. To keep track of our first, no, let me rephrase that. As we gather our first collection of 16 sets, 16 inhalations, we could rest the great knuckle of our right middle finger on the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. As we gather our second collection of 16 sets of 16 inhalations, we could rest the second knuckle of our right middle finger on the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. As we gather our third collection of 16 sets of 16 inhalations each, we can rest the third knuckle of our right middle finger on the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Overwhelmed? The antidote is repetition. Meditate with me once every 12 hours or so, and within a week or two, the Buddhist path, you could master it. Maybe 15 minutes or so. Feel free to gently adjust your legs if you feel you need to. Rather than being rigid, let us be flexible. It's okay to close our eyes tight or close our eyes gently. It's okay to open our eyes wide or hold our eyes in half moons. It's okay to notice the sky or the earth or the horizon. It's okay to listen to your body and meet its ever-changing needs. The third enlightenment factor is energy. Sitting tall, gently sitting tall as we inhale is a great way to access that energy. Just as what comes up must come down, just as the sun both sets and rises, every exhalation we practice the fifth enlightenment factor of serenity, relaxation. Relaxing not only our body, but our posture as well. The fourth enlightenment factor is joy. When we find ourselves sour-faced and cranky and scowling, it's probably because we're not practicing mindfulness, but rather concentration. Remember, mindfulness is vulnerable, passive, visceral, random, and fleeting. It does not try to hold on to anything. It's just there for the ride. Like a dog with its head out the window as you speed down the highway. A young puppy is joyful, an old hound is sedate. Not because he has lost his joy for the components of life, because his body is tired and most likely in pain. Dialectic materialism reminds us that things do not happen in a vacuum. Our emotions are often symptoms of what's going on in our body. We should cut others, and perhaps even ourselves, some slack. The first enlightenment factor is mindfulness. The sixth enlightenment factor is coalescence, and there is a relationship. As our air coalesces in our lungs as we breathe in, our perceptions, emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings coalesce in our mind simultaneously. When we see the grotesqueries made available to us by perception, emotion, intention, thought, memory, and imagining, we can hide from them. We can tell ourselves stories about them. We can seek to justify, minimize, rationalize, and fatalize what we experience. Or we can stand before what we notice, open eyes and open heart, the utmost of vulnerability. This is what is meant by investigation, the second enlightenment. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.